Hotel designers get one shot to make a total stranger feel at home in about 90 seconds. Apartment dwellers live in their space for years and often never solve half of what a hotel room's. The first thing hotel designers understand, and almost no apartment is designed around, is that the first 90 seconds inside a room set the psychological tone for the entire time spent in it afterward. This is different from the flow principle covered elsewhere on this channel, which is about how daily movement works through a space over time. This is about a single moment. The threshold, the first few steps in the first thing the eye lands on. Hotel rooms are almost always designed so that this first sightline lands on something considered a window, a piece of art, a clean, uncluttered surface, rather than on the back of a door or the side of a closet. Most apartments never think about this because the front door only gets crossed once and then the apartment is simply lived in. But the first sightline from the entry still exists every single day, and in most apartments it lands on something arbitrary, the coat rack, a pile of shoes, whatever happened to be closest to the door. Hotel designers would never leave that first sightline to chance. Standing at your own front door and asking what the eye lands on first is the entire principle, and it costs nothing to check. The second thing is about lighting, but it is a different layer than warmth, which is already covered elsewhere on this channel. This is about control. A hotel room typically has several independent light sources, each switched separately. A reading light at the bed, an ambient light near the entry, an accent light somewhere else in the room, sometimes a bathroom light on its own circuit entirely. The point is not that any one of these is warmer or better than what an apartment already has. The point is that a guest can select exactly the light needed for exactly what they are doing, without one overhead switch forcing an all-or-nothing choice. Most apartments still operate on the one-switch model, one source, fully on or fully off, doing all the emotional and functional work of the entire room regardless of what is actually happening in it. Reading, relaxing, and simply passing through the space all get the identical lighting, because there was never an option to separate them. This does not require an electrician. A handful of plug-in lamps on individual switches, positioned for different functions in different parts of the room, recreates a version of scene control without touching the wiring at all. The third thing is the one almost nobody thinks about at all because it cannot be seen, can only be heard, or more accurately, not heard. Hotel rooms are engineered for sound. Heavy drapery, upholstered headboards, carpet or rugs, all chosen partly for how they absorb sound rather than let it bounce around a hard-surfaced room. A room with bare walls, hard flooring, and no soft surfaces reflects sound in a way that makes even a quiet room feel subtly tense, because the ear is picking up echo and reflection even when nothing is consciously being noticed. Most apartments accumulate hard surfaces by default, wood or tile flooring, bare walls, minimal textiles, because these choices are often about visual style rather than acoustic experience. The fix is not expensive. A rug in a room that currently has none, heavier curtains instead of light ones, even a fabric headboard instead of none at all, changes how a room sounds and, by extension, how calm it feels to be in. If a room looks finished but still feels subtly on edge, the issue might not be visual at all. It might be that nothing in the room is absorbing sound, and everything is bouncing it back. The fourth thing is about textiles, but a different dimension of them than the tonal layering covered elsewhere on this channel. This is about weight. A hotel bed usually has fewer individual pieces than a heavily styled home bed, but each piece is noticeably heavier and denser than what most apartments use: a substantial duvet, a weighty throw, pillows with real heft rather than thin filler. This is a deliberate choice. Weight reads as quality to the hand and the body in a way that quantity alone cannot fake. A bed piled with many thin, light textiles can look styled in a photograph and still feel insubstantial the moment someone actually lies down on it. The apartment equivalent is a direct trade, not an addition, replacing several light, low-quality textiles with fewer, heavier ones rather than simply adding more on top of what already exists. A single substantial throw blanket does more for perceived comfort than three thin decorative ones stacked together. This is a rare case where less, chosen more carefully, outperforms more. The fifth thing is invisible until it is missing, which is exactly the point. Hotel rooms are designed so that a guest's small, predictable needs are already anticipated before the guest has to think about them. A surface within reach of the bed for a phone and a glass of water. An outlet exactly where a lamp needs one, not 2 feet away behind furniture. A place to set down keys and a bag the moment the door opens, before anything else happens. None of these are style decisions. They are friction removed before it is ever felt. An apartment without a landing spot near the door means keys and bags end up on whatever surface is closest, which is rarely the right one. A bed with no reachable surface nearby means a glass of water sits on the floor. These are not aesthetic failures. They are small frictions repeated every single day, invisible individually but cumulative over time. Walking through an apartment and asking, at each point of daily use, whether the thing needed there is actually available there, is the entire exercise. Most of these fixes cost nothing. They require noticing the friction that has been quietly tolerated for so long it stopped being noticed at all. The sixth thing operates below conscious notice for most guests, and yet hotel brands invest heavily in it. A consistent, subtle scent throughout a property, present in the lobby, present in the room, never strong enough to be identified as a specific fragrance but consistent enough that the space has an identity beyond what can be seen. Most apartments have no consistent scent at all, or worse, an inconsistent one. Cooking smells lingering in one room, nothing in another, an air freshener that overwhelms for an hour after use and then disappears. This inconsistency reads, subconsciously, as a space that has not been fully considered, even though almost nobody could articulate why a room feels slightly off. The apartment version of this does not require a signature fragrance line. It requires consistency. Good ventilation so cooking smells do not linger into other rooms, a candle or diffuser used at a low, near undetectable level rather than a strong one, and enough consistency that the space has a subtle identity that stays roughly the same from one day to the next. A room can look completely finished and still feel slightly wrong if what it smells like changes every single day. The seventh thing is one of the most consistent standards across the entire hotel industry and one of the most commonly missing things in an apartment bedroom: the ability to make the room completely, genuinely dark. Hotel rooms almost universally use blackout curtains or blinds, not for style, But because sleep quality depends heavily on total darkness, and hotels cannot control what time a guest needs to sleep. A guest arriving from a different time zone or working a different schedule needs the room to be dark at any hour, regardless of what the sun outside is doing. Most apartment bedrooms have curtains chosen for how they look rather than for how completely they block light, which means the room is never actually dark, only dimmer. Street light, dawn light, a neighbor's porch light, all still enter a room with decorative rather than functional window treatment. This is one of the few principles on this list that has a direct, singular fix. A genuine blackout layer, behind or beneath whatever curtain is already chosen for appearance, rather than instead of it. The room can still look exactly as styled as before. It simply becomes capable of true darkness when darkness is what is actually needed. The eighth thing is going to sound like it contradicts something covered elsewhere on this channel, and it is worth addressing directly rather than pretending the tension does not exist. A separate video on this channel makes the case that a balanced room is not always a symmetrical one, and that visual weight matters more than mirror image arrangement. That principle is about a home designed for one person to live in over years, where personality and asymmetry can read as more considered than perfect symmetry. Hotel rooms optimize for something different. A stranger's sense of order and calm within the first few minutes, with no time to develop familiarity with the space. And for that specific goal, symmetry works and works reliably. Paired nightstands, matching lamps on either side of a bed, two identical chairs facing each other. The brain reads symmetry as a shortcut for order and safety almost instantly, without needing to evaluate the room's individual elements one by one. The apartment application is not to abandon personality throughout the entire home. It is to recognize that one or two specific zones, especially a bedroom nightstand pairing, genuinely benefit from this instant calm shortcut, even in a home that is asymmetrical everywhere else. Symmetry and personality are not actually in conflict. They simply operate at different scales, one at the level of a single paired zone, the other at the level of the whole room.